Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday morning Paranormal Brew Show. I'm Nighthawk, your host, and we're going to be getting into the thick of things. We're going to be talking about water and its connection to the supernatural and the paranormal, because I have found out quite a bit about the subject, to put it lightly, okay? But anyways, I want to get into the copyright disclaimer first and protect our rights to free speech. So, copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted material without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel and all the podcasts on a channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music, to be used for the purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and let's not forget the entertainment value. For fair use under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known herein as the Fair Use Act. Okay, let me get that off of there and say good morning to everybody. I know that there is quite a few people already in the chat, and Tracy's been in the chat too. Candy, good to see you. Carl, Jeff, good to see you. Tracy, good to see you there. Girl with a gong, good to see you. Lori, good to see you. Twisted, good to see you. Roxanne, good to see you. Boy, Roxanne, you've been busy saying hello individually to everybody. That's a lot of typing. Anyways, I wanted to get into a few different things today. We ended the conversation last night on a subject that is tragic. Okay, because a lot of innocent people are being hurt. Okay, and they're being hurt willfully by the ones that control the ability to harm innocent people. Okay, and I call them the controllers. They've been called the Illuminati. They've been called the cabal, the reptilians, demons, the fallen. You know, to me, they're all the same thing. That's why I group them into a one word called the controllers. Okay. Um, so whenever I say that word, you know what it means. Okay. Um, I've been doing a lot of, how do I want to say this, supernatural research lately. Okay. Um, ever since the whole fiasco with North Carolina, and the hurricane, and what I observed that was being done by FEMA, from the air. In fact, I've got, a picture of what they utilized. Let me post it here so while I'm talking, you have something to correlate it with. I put this out last night too, but this is just one of the ways that they manipulate everything to keep control. Okay, and that includes the weather, that includes everything. Okay, that includes the banking system, the educational system, the medical system, the insurance system, the pharmaceutical industry, the music industry, Hollywood. What you are seeing is a very, very desperate group of controllers trying to regain control that they are losing because so many people are waking up to it. Okay. And we touched briefly on it last night, and I wanted to start off today with discussion on it about the fog, okay, and how they utilize certain aspects of the weather to manipulate us, to control us, to harm us, to take away from us. Um, using it for everything, okay, except against their own enemies, okay. Um, and yes, those of us that have been in the military know that what technology our military is using currently today is about 60 to 75 years, if not longer, outdated. Okay. Um, and that's strictly comes from firsthand knowledge because we had DEWs, and that's the abbreviation for direct energy weapons. For those of you that don't know, which are basically a laser weapon, we've had those since the late 80s during testing and into the early 90s. Okay, which it was refined. They have been able to manipulate things with the so-called radar antennas that you see around airports, the weather radar antennas that you see throughout the United States and the world for that matter. So they've manipulated us by controlling the frequencies, the vibrations, adjusting the music tone pitch from what was it, 432, and they changed it to 440, okay, hertz, for tuning musical instruments and stuff. They have manipulated history. Okay, history is written by the victors. Okay, obviously the controllers are the victors. Okay, since they control the banking and the retail industry and insurances and all that. Okay, that being said, there has been a situation arising with a thing called fog. Okay, and a lot of people, good morning, Larry and Decipher, good to see you. Ida, good to see you. Um, the fog is, I've always had this thing with the fog where it's always acted weird. Okay. It's almost like it's supernatural in nature. Okay. Now, obviously, they have manipulated weather through other ways. So they're going to try to manipulate the fog through certain ways, which we touched on last night, which was the smart dust, okay, that they add to the fog, okay, um, that they spew into the fog through certain means. All right. Um, there have been reports that they have been spraying things from the DRONEs, okay, throughout the country. All right. And I'm under the impression that it's one or two different things. Okay. That it's either because they're looking for something, okay, which would be something radiological in nature or like a dirty BOMB in nature. Okay. Um, or Deidre, good to see you. Um, or it's something that is a little bit more, how do I want to say it? I want to say a little bit more um, prophesied like the Bible. Oh, Larry, thank you, brother. Thank you. That is so cool. He just gifted a membership to the Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel. Thank you, Larry, for that. I'll leave that up there for a little bit. Yes, Roxanne. Yeah, entertainment purposes only. I forgot to, did that last night with the banner. So, but this subject is very, very touchy because it has something to do with the DoD and our government. Okay, and whenever our government feels that their security um, is being compromised, they usually try to silence the compromise. Okay, and I've got to be very delicate on how I say things. So, and I've only had half a cup of coffee. This is killing me. I got to pick and choose my words, because if I choose certain words, or I don't spell the words out, the algorithm will kick in and automatically, remove the disclosure podcast. Okay. And that's pretty much what this is a disclosure podcast. Okay. So that being said, the smart dust was designed back in the late 80s. It was refined in the early 90s, 91, 92. It was put into service in 1996. All right, you ask me how I know. They were working on that project when I was above top secret security clearance in the military. That's how I know. Okay. Um, since it's been, God, a long time since I've been in the military, apparently, I'm able to disclose that aspect of it. Okay, I can't go into specific details, but I can say that the smart dust is a way to track an entity, a being, a subject, a person of interest, and so on and so on. Smart dust can be applied to the human body. It can be applied to the inside of the body, the outside of the body. It can check your bodily functions as far as your body's algorithms. It can even basically sense and read your aura, okay, which is your mood. Um, it can manipulate a lot of different things, and this is a direct result from the MK Ultra studies that the CIA did. Okay, um, they just kicked it up a notch. Okay, now these micro mini chips or bots, whatever you want to call them, are so small you can fit about 50 of them on top of the head of a needle. Okay, that's how small we're talking. So if you breathe it in or you digest it, you're not going to feel it. Okay, you're not going to know that it's there. It's basically like putting turmeric on your food for flavor or helping you out with inflammation. Basically, I mean it's that small. Okay, um, so next time you put salt and pepper on your food, think of the smart dust, because I wouldn't be surprised if they don't start putting this stuff directly into the food. Okay. Now, what I mean is, I don't mean like canned goods and stuff like that sit on a shelf for God knows how long, and that basically are good a year after expiration. What I mean is in certain spices. Okay. If I was to conquer the world, if I was to manipulate the masses, I would do it from internally. Okay. Because it's like the old saying, when you learn how to fight, you control the head, you control the body. Well, the reason for smart dust is so they can control your head. Okay. And monitor your body. Okay. So when this stuff is put into the fog, it makes fog what I call, and you have heard me say this before previously in podcasts, you have heard me call the fog smart fog. Okay, you making the correlation now? How I was trying to ease that out there to everybody to let them know that it was that type of a situation in the fog, um, they could use those mini microchips and nanobots to basically manipulate the fog. There was a video going around on social media that somebody filmed. I think it was above Philadelphia, and it was this weird formation of a cloud, and it almost looked like soap suds floating in the sky, but a big one. You know what I mean? And then they showed it floating along the sidewalk and through a parking lot towards people. Okay, that is a direct correlation to smart dust. That was a way of them testing to see what the reaction of putting the smart dust into a cloud, seeding it into a cloud, and seeing what would happen. Okay, because they've been seeding clouds since well before, I'd say well before um, Vietnam. Okay, they did it during Korea. They did it during the World War II. Um, so they've been doing it for a while, and they've just been progressively getting it more fine tuned. So now they've got this smart fog, and this smart fog, if you go into it, okay, it can make you hallucinate. It can make you see things that you would deem as real. Okay. There's so many other aspects of it that I can't even really cover because a lot of it is still probably a very, very highly guarded secret. Okay. But just know that it can manipulate your body to a way and to a point that nothing else other than the creator himself could do to you. Okay. Um, Now, the controllers, the reptilians, the Illuminati, the satanic cults, whatever you want to call them, they know this, okay? And they are upset that things are leaking out the way they are because they're losing control, okay? And when the powerful and the elite lose control, what do? They erase all evidence. That's why we're seeing things happening around us the way it is happening. The tragic stuff, the North Carolina incident, the Florida hurricane incident, with all the nasty tornadoes that were. I mean, who would have thought you'd have that many tornadoes in Florida during a hurricane? Okay, I mean, water spouts, yeah, you see those all the time off the Florida coast, and off the Atlantic coast, but who would have thought that would happen to Florida? Well, it was directed and guided. Okay. So this capability, this way of doing things has been around a while, but they have fine tuned it so much, and they have gotten their operatives into certain aspects of our government, our weather industry, um, our news agencies, Hollywood, the music industry, the banking industry like BlackRock, Vanguard, Berkshire Hathaway, um, and so many numerous other enterprises out there. Let's say, okay, that it gets to. Oh, let me post that now while I got a chance, Roxanne. um, it's getting to the point where we as just regular people are having a difficult time discerning fact from fiction. Okay. When they throw so many things up at us at one time, okay, they're using diversionary tactics. like we would use in the special forces. Okay, they would make something over here to draw your attention while they were doing something behind your back over here. Okay, it's the old bait and hook. That's all it is. Okay, um, and the reason, Deidre, I'm glad you're here too, my friend. I really am. And Carl, it's really good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. I really am. The the whole concept of it is basically because we are a slave network. We were made as free-willed indi- individuals, beings, okay, by the creator. But that creator's creation was manipulated by a little known group called the Anunnaki. Okay. And for that, the creator basically deemed them as the fallen angels, the ones that perverted mankind, humanity. Okay. With the knowledge, with the genetic tweaks, with the interbreeding with animals and then type humid hominoids, okay, um, and messing with the DNA over the years. So they are the ones that are considered the fallen, okay. In fact, my Middle Eastern friends call them the jinn. Did you know that? Because you see, the Anunnaki, they are more than just a physical being. They can make themselves translucent like they're a spirit. Okay. And they live a very, very long time. Our records for the history of where we live and what we call our world, I'm not going to call it a planet or a globe because we all know how I feel about that. I'm taking it right from the text of the Bible and by the other texts and stuff that are around the world that describe the planet as being having four corners, and I just don't believe a globe can have four corners. Not to mention what I learned when I was being raised, something a lot of people don't know. Okay, you know, the Native American medicine wheel, look it up. Okay, Google it sometime. Lay that medicine wheel down on the flat earth map and you have your four corners. Where those four corners meet, in the center of the cross, the X, is the beginning place of life. I said it. History, and I've said it 150 times, it's probably going to be said another 200 times, is not what we are taught in school. History isn't as far back as 100, 200 million years. It's not that old. They want you to think it's that old, but it's not. What's happening is we as a slave race are basically manipulated every, say, 2,500 to 3,500 years. Okay. There's a thing stating that the Anunnaki return every 3,600 years. Okay. It might even be that, to where our history is, how do I want to say it? Reset. Does that sound familiar? Think about it. How many resets do you know of? It's something that has been happening for a very long time, but not no 50 to 60 to 200 million years, okay? Not that long. But it has been happening for quite a while. Otherwise, we wouldn't have civilization building on top of civilization for so long. There's pictures out there of certain areas of our world. And I don't know if I have any on here. I'm looking right now. I don't think I do have any on here right now, but I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Pictures of what looks like buildings that were built long ago. Okay. Good morning, Demaria. All right, let's see. Boy, this chat is going by. I got to catch up to everybody. Hold on. Okay. Roger, good to see you. Freaky, good to see you. Um, now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Freaky. um, history is not what we're taught. Okay, things don't get built on top of other things. Um, the controllers are beneath our feet, and they're above us. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. What we call immortals, let's say, okay, um, watchers, okay, is another way of saying it. Um, they've always been here. Okay, they've always had the knack for picking out certain bloodlines and families and intermixing with that bloodline, making that human bloodline the humans that profit from what's going on today. Does that make sense? Um, I don't know how else to say it. It's something that has been happening for a very long time. It started originally with gold. Then it reversed to silver, copper, that kind of minerals, palladium, platinum, got added to it. And now it's called Bitcoin. If you think, for instance, that you're having to work in order to pay taxes on you having the permission to work, the authorization to be breathing, to be eating, to be living underneath a roof. If you think paying taxes is normal, that is a slave mentality, and that's the kind of mentality they want you to keep. You see, there's a saying out there that sometimes the devil, he doesn't make your life difficult because he doesn't want to make you realize that you are in a prison. The other way of thinking at it is, say for instance, you don't know you're a prisoner, okay, and the cell door is left open. It's left open to let you know that you're not a prisoner, to let you think that you're not a prisoner, and you can leave anytime you want. But as soon as you strike out against the narrative, what they want you to do and to be, that cell door gets slammed shut. Okay. So that's the best way of how I can describe what's going on. Okay. They're trying to slam the cell door shut on us. It's getting to the point where people are starting to rebel. Okay. Good, decent people are finally standing up and waking up to what's been going on for too long. Okay. Um, they removed certain parts, the Anunnaki removed certain parts of our genetic makeup for a reason. Because we have the ability to be just as powerful as they are. Okay. Just as advanced as they are. Okay. Um, so they wanted to limit us with that knowledge. Okay. And that's why they tweaked our DNA to remove certain things. Okay. Let me go back to the chat here real quick. Let me see. I don't have membership anymore. Costco, I prefer. Be careful with Aldi's. Okay. Girl with a gong. And anybody out there that deals with Aldi's. Because in my research, I found Mr. Evil himself, Bill Gates, is putting stuff into the food at Aldi's. Aldi's gave him permission to do that. Okay. So be very, very careful what you buy at Aldi's. You should be very careful what you buy, anyways, because they take away a lot of the triggers that we would see on certain products that we buy that are bioengineered, and that term can be used very, very loosely. So just consider that. And technically, Aldi's, not being an American based company, doesn't have to put anything on their packaging to tell you what's in it. There's no laws stating that they have to do that. They put the ingredients in it that they want you to know about. Who knows what else you're eating? TG, good to see you. So just be careful is all I'm saying. Anyways, I just wanted to let you know that about Aldi's before it got too far in the chat there. It's getting out of control. Okay. But anyways, getting back to the smart dust, that's gonna be the part where the Neuralink is gonna come into play. Okay. And we all know what's going to happen with the Neuralink system. Okay, it's going to be set up with the smart dust to basically make us, the slave race, conform. In other words, if we don't worship the God that they say is God, we don't eat. If we don't get the mark on our forehead or in the back of our hand, we don't drink water. You see where I'm going with this? This is what it is, okay? They deceive you, and they can deceive you any way they want to, okay? And they've been doing it for so long, they've gotten so good at it that they've got most of us brainwashed into believing everything that comes out of the news media and Hollywood and the music industry, which is not the way to live a life. Okay. Laugh now, cry later. Yeah, we can laugh. Twisted, I know you have no fear. I know, my friend, I know. Um, Robin, you can explain this probably even better than I can, to tell you the truth of what is playing out. Um, but controlling the fog, calling it paranormal fog, smart fog is what I call it, because of the smart dust that's in it. And not every fog you encounter is going to have the smart dust in it. Okay, it's only when they want to do certain things, have certain objectives. Okay, so let's keep that in mind too. All right. Well, I don't know if we have fear. We have free will, that's for sure. Um, so I guess fear can be based off of anybody's free will and ability to have a fear. TJ or TG. I, for one, with all I've been through, I don't have any fear. That's why I talk about this stuff. Okay. And I know that I've got a big bullseye put on me. That's just the way it is. So I'll continue to drink my coffee and watch my six. So, yeah, you're right, Carl. It could be that. It could be that very well. Life is only balanced like a scale if the person that is wanting to have that balance can interpret the world around them and read within themselves and without. Okay, that's where life is balanced. We meditate to gain knowledge, comfort, peace. Okay, so life is literally what each individual makes it and manifests. Okay, you can pray to be a millionaire, but that's not going to make you a millionaire unless you believe it in here and believe it in here. Okay, and you feel it with your senses. Okay, you smell the smell of gold, the smell of silver, the smell of money. Okay, you feel it within your fingers. You see it within your eyesight and your third eye. Okay, you hear the money changers adding up the bills like the banks do. Okay, these are all things you have to incorporate into yourself in order to make yourself better. Okay, along with praying to your creator. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying anything that most of you don't already know, that know me. Kathy, good to see you. Yeah, everybody needs to question more and be quiet too. Also, there's so many ways that this whole thing is playing out. With all the tragedy on the West Coast right now, it's more of a cover up than anything. The Maui incidences, with the same thing that's happening in the LA area, same type of wind, same type of fire. You know, it's a cover up. Okay, It's covering up, first off, I'll say it this way. It's covering up what the music industry has done. One of the first mansions to burn down was Mr. D's house. Okay. Some of the other ones to burn down were the ones that were speaking out about the industry. Okay. And other ones were just the weak links in the chain of the disgusting human trafficking and drugs and satanic crap that's going on in the Hollywood area. Okay. Like somebody's son who is a president lost his home in it. And all the evidence just went poof, gone. All the evidence from Mr. D's mansion, poof, gone. Think about it. Just think about it. It is what it is. They're afraid that they're losing control, so they're gonna get rid of evidence. That's all it is. What we think is a land grab is nothing more than them exerting their power. Okay. And right now, they're losing that power because of all you. Yeah, you could call it a psyop. You definitely can call it a psyop, Scott. That's for sure. I agree with that. Um, it's like I said in the beginning of the podcast. They distract you with the UFO disclosure thing. Oh, we're gonna come clean with everything, and next thing you know, a year or two later, you got drones flying over what are supposed to be secured areas and public areas, dispensing something in the sky. Okay, which is smart dust. I was hoping everybody would be able to put the two and two together. Um, they've reported it as being a radiological type of um, this, way of seeing if there was a smart bomb or a dirty bomb, or a radiological bomb in that area. Okay, but it isn't. It's smart dust. That's all it is. Everything is going to come to play. Mark my words. Everything's going to come to play. Yeah. Yeah, twisted. And you have to ask yourself who comes up with it are the ones that are controlling it. Okay. The beta generation. Think about it. They're the ones that are going to be tested the most. They don't want the beta generation to be able to think for themselves. Okay. They don't. They don't want any of us to have the ability to think or take care of ourselves. They want the ability to do that. And they are getting upset because what's the first thing that happened with the cough back in 2020? People started reacting adversely and not following their directives. See, that was the beginning of the test. And now they've gotten to the point where they're so angry and upset that they're losing control of the masses that they're going to start making the masses pay, which is what's going on today. And you know what's going to happen after that, after the smart dust is dispersed and all the evidence is wiped away clean. What's going to happen is someone like the Pope is going to come in and say, oh, we are all just one creation from God, and this is the Messiah, and we need to worship him or her. It could be a her, you never know. In other words, you're going to follow the falsity, the false religion, the religion that it states in the Bible and the Quran and all that of the false Messiah. But they're going to play it up. Ray, good to see you. They're going to play it up like it's the real deal, and they're going to have all these religious leaders that are basically just helpers and paid operatives to induce the public into following this one world religion. Okay? It is pure evil. It's definitely pure evil. Yeah, they're definitely money hungry idiots. That's for sure, and they are evil, Scott. You are right. Yeah, Robin, the Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson interview was a good one. But the one that was even better than that was the one where Mel Gibson was interviewed, and he was asked about a certain Hollywood elitist that was having a rooftop party, okay, and how this Hollywood elitist literally floated into the room like you would see in a vampire movie and sat on the couch next to Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson looked at the building across the street, and on that building, the only letters on the building that were legible in red was the number 666. And he turned and looked at this individual whom I'm not going to name, but I've named him previously in podcasts. He looked at this individual, and this individual just had a smile on his face. So that tells you right there, Hollywood is evil. Okay. And this is a very prominent individual in Hollywood. Okay. He's been in several movies. All right. So that being said, it's really, really disturbing to see what's happening today. Okay. But when someone like me tells you that you need to start praying more, or asking whatever power that you believe in to help humanity, then we should probably do it. Yes, TG, evil is out there. Yeah, definitely. So, but anyways, I wanted to talk about that today and what they're doing with the smart dust and with the fog. Okay. Um, Tomorrow I may not be coming live. I don't know yet. I might just do a quick live, maybe an hour or so. But I've got a lot of cleaning to do in this podcast room and organizing. Okay. So I'll either do it before or after or maybe even during. So, but I want everybody to know that you all in the chat, you're part of this Weirdo Warrior army, okay? And you all have the ability to help one another out, okay? So and you know, there's going to be more strange things happening. You're going to be seeing things that are just going to completely you're not going to believe, okay? Well, when you're dealing with something like the evil that we're dealing with today, and then you have the supernatural trying to fend off the evil, which some of the, and I will say this, some of the DRONEs that people have been seeing aren't really those. Some of them are angelic beings, okay? And there is still a war going on up above, okay? Up above us. Picture our world like having layers, okay? Layer upon layer, okay? And each layer and level is like another dimension or a way of living, okay? When we leave this body, we have a choice to go to each one of those levels. If you believe in something and it's a lower vibration belief, you're gonna ascend to the lower level, okay? um Now water plays a big role into all this, okay? And I did want to cover the water thing today. We all know water holds energy, okay? We all know water is paranormally charged, okay? Supernaturally charged, okay? We know that it remembers, okay? We know that it has the ability to conduct energy and electricity, okay? Um, we know that water can be used as portals. Wait, did I say that out loud? Yeah. Water, whether it's the ocean, whether it's the Great Lakes, whether it's the Mississippi River, the Ohio, the Monongahela, the whatever, the James River, whatever it is, it's a portal. Now, when you think about the layers, okay, another way of getting to and from this part of the world to another layer of the world is through water. Okay, now I'm going to kick this out there to everybody, okay? And I hope David Paulides is listening, okay? Because if David isn't listening, he needs to. Love the man dearly, okay? Um, Water is a portal. People go missing near water. The majority of the people that go missing are the ones that are missing something, either something within them that they desire or something without them that they're searching for. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope it does. I really do. TG, thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you. And you are always welcome here. Never forget that, okay? Um, so we go and we see these they call them UAPs because they're covering their CYA. Okay. Um, I call them UFOs because they are unidentified. Okay. But you see these going into the water all the time. You see them going into volcanoes all the time. Volcanoes actually lead into the depths of the water. Okay. The whole concept of portals is a way to transport yourself or something to another level of being. Okay, another level of life. Okay, another dimension, as you call it. Okay. um I've been told by supernatural, I'll just say it, angelics, okay, um that we need to look at them as calling them the heavens instead of dimensions. We should call them the heavens. Okay. What you believe in this world, when you leave this body, your energy, your chi, okay, your karma, okay, will transport your soul through the water to the heavens. Okay. A lot of people think that just because rockets go up in the air that they're going into outer space, and it's not that way at all. Okay. The best way I can describe it is NASA was founded as an oceanic research group. Now you have to ask yourself, why is NASA so interested in water? Think about it. Why are they so interested in water? Why do they practice in water? Why do they hone their skills in water? Why don't they hone their skills in space where there's no water? Wait a minute. There is water up there, huh? You all heard of blue ice? Research Antarctica and blue ice. Google it, and you will be amazed at what you find. The sky's blue for a reason, folks. Question everything. Question everything. Water is the easiest way to get to other dimensions, other heavens, other realms, whatever you want to call it. Okay. You call it whatever your heart desires. Okay. It's called free will. You call it whatever your heart desires. Okay. Water is the easiest way to get to it. People go missing and either in water or at the water's edge or located near water. It's not rocket science, folks. It really isn't. It's not rocket science. If a dumb Indian like me can figure this stuff out, a disabled, dying man can figure this out, then anybody can. And that's initially why I started this podcast, this channel. So everybody can have a chance to do their own research. Stay up at all hours of the night like I do and do your research. I mean, seriously. Hey, Griff, good to see you, bro. Good to see you very much, man. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, water. As above, so below. And then the human. As within, so without. Water is, and you've heard this growing up. I know everybody's heard this. Without water, nothing survives. Think about it. It's true. Thriller James, good to see you. Water retains energy. Water remembers. Water is intelligent. It seeks the least resistance. Mankind doesn't seek the least resistance. We're a bunch of dumbasses going around starting wars and blowing up things. That's just my opinion. For entertainment purposes only, right, Roxanne? Oh, thank you, girl with a gong. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Man, this chat is moving. Wow. Coffee money. Thank you very much. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to get a drink because I'm getting a little short-winded. I didn't think I'd be able to go this long. But you have to remember that water is around us everywhere. Think about the power of the thunderstorm. Think about that. When you have a thunderstorm rolling in, what comes from the heavens? Water. What is generated from the earth through the water to heaven? The thunderbolt. Electricity. Energy. Energy. Think about it. I mean, it all is so right there in front of us, within our reach, but we never really talked about it. We never really brought it up in conversation with anybody. We always thought about the possibilities of things like this happening and playing out, and being a viable theory in the back of our minds. But we never really talked about it. The most important thing in life, other than unconditional love, is water. Water is portals. Water is portals that open up and go to the heavens, the different layers of other life after we leave this body. Our energy goes into the water, and the energy from our soul goes to the heavens through the water, through the portal. The butterfly people, that they're called, come through the water to protect people. During Katrina, it happened. Okay? A hurricane with water. Think about it. I mean, just correlate it all together, okay? The weaponization of weather. Our government, our controllers have known about this connection for a very, very long time. That's why they seek to control the water. That's why they're telling you not to go to Antarctica. That's why they threaten you, and they're passing laws to use eminent domain to force you into doing things that they want you to do, which is leave the subject alone. Deidre, good to see you. Daryl, good to see you. And Daryl, you are welcome here anytime, my friend. Anytime. Anytime. You're part of the family, man. Don't forget that. Water is the connecting factor. What are we baptized in? Have you ever thought about that? We're baptized in water. Why is that? Why did Jesus walk upon the water to get to the apostles in the boat during a storm? How did Jesus manipulate water? From within, so without. You understand? Each of us have that ability. Yes, there is a creator. There is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. The one almighty heavenly Father. There is one creator. But we were manipulated and being continually manipulated by the powers in this world. And we got to stop it. We have to stop it. That's why I'm here. You know, for the longest time, I was trying to figure out why I didn't die from cancer so many, years. And this is like my 5th year. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. I think this is what I'm meant to tell you guys. Water's the key. Water's always been the key. We cleanse ourselves with water. We kill our thirst with water. We baptize ourselves with water. Water's the key. Water's the key to get to the portals, to get through to the other levels of heavens. The heavens. The dimensions, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it's all the same thing. We just call it different things. It's like having Bigfoot and Sasquatch named 1,800 different names around the world. It's all the same thing, folks, no matter what we call it. The powers that be separated mankind, humanity, and gave them different languages to keep them separated so they can't find out this ancient secret. That's why I'm here. Some people may think this is crazy, but that's fine. But you'll find out that it's not crazy. And that's why they're trying to manipulate the weather. They know it. Water is the key to everything. Everything. I'm going to let you guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I catch my breath, okay, in the chat. And then I'm going to close it out. If I was under the radar previously to this, between last night's discussion and today, I'm definitely on the radar. And I'm not worried about it. Yes, thank you, Twisted. I will get rest. I will get some rest. Oh, and yeah, and look at Tracy. Tracy even got, see, Tracy's right. Jesus is called the living water. Kathy, thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again. Freaky, thank you for being here. You have no idea how much you are loved and you are respected, my friend. Everybody in the chat, you have no idea how much you are loved and needed. Anyways, for that, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to do a little bit more research back here. I'm going to start tidying up my podcast room so I can come on again tomorrow with hopefully Eric. Hopefully Eric won't have to work tomorrow. Um, and you know, may the Creator bless you all very much. May He hold you within His embrace and love you unconditionally, because that's what He wants us to do. Unconditional love is the most powerful force in the universe, other than water. Emotions are electricity. Electricity flows through water. Water is portals. Missing people and water. If you like this, please subscribe to the channel. Like this out and share it. In fact, send it to David Pilates if you can. Send the podcast to him. Let him listen to it. My good brother David, whom I respect a hell of a lot. Sometimes it takes someone like me to break out of the mold to disclose things like this. I just wonder, does the water in the oceans ever end? Think about it. Or does it go to the heavens? As above, so below. Think about it. Let me know what you think. God bless everybody. Love you all very much. Never forget that. And I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow morning, okay? With Eric. And then we'll get back into some of the other subjects. But I just thought my heart led me to talk about this today, the fog and the water and the connection, because fog is water. So they're trying to control the water for a reason. Everybody, have a great Saturday. All right. Peace, love, and blessings to everybody. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Question everything, folks. Question everything.